What is up? Hope you are doing good. Welcome back to the YouTube channel. Now, I am in the car. Today I'm just on my way to the butcher's to get some meat. Coincidentally, it is actually my family's butcher's. But before I set off, because I'm obviously not driving yet, I'm sat in a parked car just outside the flat. Before I set off, I wanted to talk through what we're going to go through today. So I'm going to be taking you through how I coach people. Okay, so what my coaching looks like. There are so many different examples of coaching. There isn't one way that it should be done, but there is, in my opinion, things that should be included regardless of how you actually run or deliver your coaching service. And these are really, really important things that I wanted to put across because they're things that you should be on the lookout for if you're ever looking for a coach. I've worked with 3-4 different coaches now. Each one of them was completely different in how they coached and in terms of what they delivered and what things looked like, the software that they used, how they communicated with me. And my own coaching has evolved dramatically over the years, okay? So it is completely different today to what it was when I first started it 2 years ago. We started out with Word documents, with emails. It has progressed dramatically since then to a point now where there is tons of video content. Programming is completely different, the communication's completely different. So I wanted to talk you through that and show you exactly how I work today so that you know exactly what it looks like. So that is what we are going to be going through today. But for now, I need to get to the shop. So I'm going to pause this, I'm going to drive across, and I'll speak to you once we've done that. We have the goods sorted, all collected. Time to head back home and show you guys how we work. Let's do it. So just decided to get a quick little pit stop on the way home. Don't always get them, to be fair, maybe once a week, something like that. Treat myself. This is a skinny vanilla latte, in case anybody is wondering. The only reason I get skinny, it's just because I'd rather put those carbs and calories towards food instead of drinking them, because I can be quite greedy sometimes. So that is literally it. But yeah, skinny vanilla latte is pretty much always my go-to option. Right, let's get home. Okay, so when it comes to how I now work with my coaching, I'm going to show you the exact systems and the setups that I use and how I deliver programs to clients and what that looks like. But over the years, it's had loads of different forms, right? So I started out with Word documents, with PDFs. These went back and forth in emails every single week. And I found out pretty quickly that this just was not a good way to be working it, because versions would get lost, adjustments would get lost in emails, you'd end up redoing them, clients would work from the wrong copy, and it was just very, very messy. So one of the best things that I did, and it's something that I still use now, is I changed all of my coaching service programs and everything like that over to Google Drive. So everything that I do is worked inside Google Drive. It's built inside spreadsheets. Now, that might sound a little bit technical or a little bit boring, but it's actually done in a really easy to understand way and easy to implement. And the reason that I like using spreadsheets and I like using Google Sheets specifically is for two main reasons. One, it allows us to be as detailed as we need to be, mapping out whatever we need to map out, tracking whatever we need to track, going into as much detail as we need to with training or nutrition, or we can actually keep it really, really simple. The second reason is that it's a live update file. So as soon as I've built the programs for my clients and I send them a link to access those plans and use those plans, when they make any changes, when they update their logbooks, when they update their progress trackers, I can instantly see the changes on my end. So there's no need for back and forth emails, back and forth messaging, nothing gets lost, everything's organized, everything's neat, it's all in one place. So the first thing that my clients will actually get to do is an assessment week. So the very first thing I do is send them through an assessment week sheet in which that they then complete, and they basically track certain metrics for the week. So it's their weight, their nutrition, their steps, their training, a bit of a diet diary. We'll do that for an entire week so that I've got a really good idea of what's going on with them, where they're currently at, and what the easiest things are going to be for us to change to start seeing improvements and progress towards where we want to get to. At the end of that week, I'll do all the programming, and this is where this sheet comes in. So this is exactly how a program would look. This sheet has a few different tabs on it, and as you can see here, we've got the dashboard, right? So this is where basically I just put their basic information in, what we're doing here, what their goals are, what we're working towards, how that's going to look in terms of a training overview, and any future goals that we might work towards. So we can use this as almost a point to refer back to when we want to check what our goals are, what we're working towards, how far we've come, and what the next goal is going to be. From there, we have the daily tracker, and this is an example of what it looks like with clients as they fill it in. They get their information, their check-in day, their current week at the very top of the sheet. So when they're using it on their phone, because it can sometimes be a little bit trickier on phones, super easy for them to scroll through it from the drop-down menu, find the week that they're on, go straight to that week, fill in the information. And I get clients to use this to track certain metrics every single day. And this is pretty much just, again, their weight, their nutrition, hydration, their training, their steps, cardio, that kind of thing, with a little bit of a weekly overview for when it comes to their check-ins. And this is the information that really helps us track what's going on, measure what's going on, and then inform any adjustments that we might need to make in order to keep us going in the right direction. So this is fairly basic and it's super easy to fill out. It literally takes clients 60 seconds on a morning to fill this sheet out. They just go one row along every single day. And at the end of the week, it gives us some nice average scores for the week. So super important for things like weight and calories to take the average score, so you've got a good idea of what the weeks look like as a whole. They'll also get their nutritional targets every single week. So I use this sheet to lay out their nutrition targets every week, what we're going to be aiming to hit, if we've got any events or occasions coming up, how we're going to manage those, what our targets are going to be for that occasion, if we are even going to have any, so that every single week they can just look at this sheet, they can look at the week they're on, and they've got all the information they need. They've got the nutrition targets laid out, they know how often they need to get to the gym, and they can start tracking the things that we need them to be tracking. So it makes it super simple. From that point on then, we have some graphs. So this data here is pulled across from the progress tracker, the information that they're already filling in, and it's thrown into a few little graphs here. So we start to see some really nice movement on these graphs. We start to be able to see what direction weight's going in, what direction the calories are going in, what direction measurements and body fat and everything like that's going on. So we've got a really good idea and a visual representation of what's going on. Then we have a little supplement sheet, again, just to advise on some basic supplements that might benefit that particular client, for them to look to get to help improve either health, recovery, sleep, digestion, training, performance, whatever it is. So there might be a few little things on there with directions on where to get them from, how to take them, when to take them. I am not a GP, I'm not a medical doctor, it is not prescribed or anything like that, it is merely just hypothetical advice for them to potentially take, and all my clients are advised to seek advice from their GP or doctor before doing any of that. Get that disclaimer out of the way. And then we've got their training plan, right? So then I will always program for the next 12 weeks ahead, so that they've got a really clear structure for the next 12 weeks of training. Based off of their assessment week, of what they put in their training assessment, that will help inform how many times we're going to train, what kind of equipment we're going to be using, what muscles we're going to be focusing on, the style of training that we're going to be doing, the kind of sets and rep ranges we're going to be working with. So it's all informed by them, by what they like to do, what they don't like to do, what they have access to, how much time they've got on what they're wanting to focus on. And then obviously as their coach, I'll take a little bit of the lead with that in terms of what I think will be the best thing for them to do. And we lay it out in 12-week blocks, okay? So you'll be able to see it's structured in 12 weeks, week 1 through to 12. The reps or weights are progressing every single week, and then we have a deload week around week 6 and week 12. We don't always take this, but I like to prescribe those in so we've got an idea of what's going on. And then they also get a logbook, so every single week they'll get the sets and the reps laid out for that specific session. They'll be able to track their sets, their reps, their weight, and it'll give them a total score of what they've lifted and if they've improved from the week before. So this is the whole program, how this runs. This is exactly what I deliver to clients from a programming point of view through Google Drive. They'll also then have a few separate things inside that folder that might be general advice on how to use MyFitnessPal. It might be advice on what kind of foods to look to have in your daily meals, the kind of foods we want to be eating, how to navigate meals out, how to navigate drinking out, things like that, and then some specific advice for them on the easiest things for them to focus on improving in the early days to get the ball rolling and to start building some momentum towards their goal. In terms of check-ins, there are tons of different ways that I've seen coaches do these, but the best way that I have found that works, that I personally do in order to get the most information from whoever I'm working with and allow them the opportunity to put the most information across, to ask the most questions, is check-in pictures every week, a check-in video. So I ask my clients to record a video of them talking about their week, what's gone well, what's not gone well, what's coming up in the following week, what questions they have for me, what they think they need to improve on. And then they'll also, alongside that, have their tracker information from their sheets, so that I've got all the information I could possibly need to then make a decision on what we need to do moving forward and any adjustments based off of that. And that happens once a week. So that is a formal check-in once a week. And if we need to, we jump on a call, but otherwise it's generally a screen recording of me going through everything and giving them the feedback that they need. So that's how the program looks. That is how the check-ins work. Alongside that then, they all have me on WhatsApp, so they can speak to me at any point through the week on WhatsApp. With any questions or concerns or little queries that have come up as and when they do through the week, any training videos that they want to send across that they need feedback on, anything like that. And that is how the coaching program looks with me, is a very quick and rough view of it. For me as a coach, the main three things that I want to look towards when working with someone is education, support, and ultimately results, right? I want them to leave having got the result that they came for. I want them to have the support through that process that is going to help them get there in the first place. And I want them to receive the education so that whatever result that they achieve, they have the knowledge, the understanding, and the control to go away and sustain that, or even build upon it in the future should they wish to do that. And those are the three things that really drive what I do and how I work with my clients, and it's a reason why they get the programs like they do, why I use the software that I do, why they get the support on WhatsApp that they do through the week, why they have access to me all the time, for those specific reasons, because that is what I am looking to drive and achieve with all of my clients. There's also tons of other things that I haven't gone into, like the educational content, the educational videos my clients receive, information around calories, macros, training, anything nutrition based, fat loss based, lifestyle based. There's PDFs, there's webinars, there's seminars. There is a ton of background information that my clients all get access to that they can just watch in their own time to help improve that understanding and their own education. So that is a very quick rundown of how coaching looks with me. I hope you found this episode interesting. I hope you found that interesting, and it gives you a little bit of an insight into how I work. Maybe you've had a coach in the past and how they've worked was completely different to this. I know of people that have worked with coaches who have literally received one email a week with some general advice, and that has been it. You can see from how I run, it is completely different to that setup. So hopefully it's given you a bit of an overview and a bit of an idea of how coaching looks with me and how that currently works, and how much time and effort goes into delivering these things and this support and education to my clients to really help them get the most out of the experience and help them ultimately get what they come to me for. Guys, as ever, hope you enjoyed this episode. As always, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel, like the video, share it across your platforms, all that jazz. It really does help the channel out. It really helps me out. It means I can keep making these videos and bringing this content to you guys to offer as much support as I possibly can. So go ahead, make sure you do that. Don't forget to do it, and I will see you all in the next video.